We've themed a lot of things over the last couple of weeks with the NVQ trainees. We've done Valentine's themes with chocolate. Over the last 2 weeks with the NVQ students, we've done dark chocolate and raspberry mousse, and then we also did strawberry pavlova. We've also run quizzes on the Zoom sessions for the trainees. I've got the frying pan preheated. Put just a little touch of oil in there. I've sometimes seen egg for fried rice done where the rice is almost finished and then the egg's cracked in on top. I think that basically just makes the whole thing very sticky and it all clumps together. I prefer to have the rice done like this. I prefer to have the egg done like this. You can see already it's starting to form. It's really a bit of care and the amount of time that it takes to make the bread that counts. The first item, the first ingredient is 500 grams of strong bread flour. Strong bread flour is what I use for things like focaccia, pizza, naan bread. It's similar to any other flour, the exception being that the grain that it's made from has a very high gluten content. Hi, it's Stuart from the Courtyard Cafe. Stepping Stones NI has a dual purpose. It's a training organisation. Also, it's a training organisation where we provide catering and hospitality training to NVQ students, but it's also providing. But we also operate 3 cafes in Lisburn. There are 2, and also the Gate Lodge in Ards. What I constantly try to do is develop recipes which are something that are suitable for our trainees. I'm constantly looking at recipes which are suitable for the NVQ trainees. You can make the batter and leave it overnight. It does improve the quality of the crepes when you make them, because the gluten in the flour has a chance to absorb the liquid, and it will make the pancakes at the end much softer and less likely. And it will make the pancakes at the end much softer to eat. That's the batch of crepes made. Usually when I've made lemon meringues before, it's been in a pastry case. This recipe, which was on the BBC programme, uses a biscuit base. Essentially it's just digestive biscuits mixed in with some melted. It's just some digestive biscuits which you crumb down and mix with some melted butter before you put them. It's just some digestive biscuit base. It's digestive biscuits which you beat down to a crumb. You can use a rolling pin, or you can use a foot. It's just digestive biscuits which you crumb down. You can do that with a rolling pin, a food processor, whatever you have, and it's then mixed with some melted butter. I simply just crumbed the digestives using the rolling pin, melted butter in the microwave, so I'm going to. What I simply did was crumb the digestive biscuits using a rolling pin in the bowl until they're quite fine. There's 50 grams of butter which I've cut up so that it'll melt down into the. There's 50 grams of butter which I've cut up so that it'll melt down into the curd. The yolks from 3 large eggs, 4 large tablespoons of corn flour, and this is the zest of 3 large lemons. Here I have got 75 grams of castor sugar, and in this bowl the juice of 3. And in this bowl I've got the juice of 2 large lemons. I'm going to make a French onion soup, which ends up a bit like a casserole really, and it's a meal in itself. I'll end up with a baked French onion soup finished off in the oven to melt the cheese, which isn't in it. Hello, it's Stuart from the Courtyard Kitchen again. Every now and then it's nice to have something pretty simple to eat. Hello, it's Stuart from the Courtyard Kitchen. Every now and then it's nice to get away from fancy food and have something that's really simple but really, really tasty. A good tablespoon of plain flour. Mix that in. At this stage it's almost at this stage it's almost like making a roux for a sauce. And that's the finished soup, just straight out of the pot. And that's the finished soup, straight out of the oven and bubbling, ready for the bowl. Okay, so we're coming near to the end of the process. The mixer has been Okay, so we're coming near to the end of the kneading process. It's been running for about 5 minutes. So I'll take the bowl. So I'll take the bowl off the mixer. And it's recipe 1 in the biscuit section, flake meal biscuits. They're one of the tastiest biscuits I think you can get. Very simple to make. And they're actually and while it's not diet food, they do have a lot of porridge oats, for a bit of, well, it's not exactly something to eat when you're on a diet because it does include quite a bit of butter. There's a lot of porridge oats in them and quite a bit of fibre. While it's not exactly health food, they do contain quite a bit of butter. While it's not diet food, the flake meal biscuits contain quite a bit of porridge oats. They do have butter in them, but you can't have everything. And I do think every now and then it's not a big deal to enjoy something that's really, really tasty. I had already sieved the flour just to make sure there are no lumps because I'd already sieved the flour because you don't want lumps in it. They'll end up in the mix. And as well, what I've put in is a pinch, probably about a 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder. And mix that in. I'm going to check after 20 minutes and we'll see what way they go. I'll check after 20 minutes and see what we'll do after that. Maybe a bit more than 20 minutes since I preheated the wrong oven.